Yerushalayim to give over what are known as the Bikurim, their first few fruits. And this was quite the spectacle. Farmers would begin by identifying which fruits were first, and then they'd take them off, put them in a basket, they'd come and congregate in the regional capitals known as the cities of Ma'amad. There they'd stay over the night, they'd camp out in the streets, and the next morning they'd all head out together in a procession towards Yerushalayim, led by an ox with gilded horns, a wreath over its forehead, accompanied by flutists playing and singing. And as they reached the walls of Yerushalayim, the dignitaries of Yerushalayim, the Kohanim, the Leviim, would all come out to greet this procession as it came. It was truly a gala in the truest sense of the word. And yet when this procession made its way from the walls of Yerushalayim into Har HaBayit, it took a sudden turn in tone and in tenor. The Mishnah tells us that no matter who you were, no matter how powerful you were, even the most powerful king in Israel, says the Rambam, the minute you got to Har HaBayit, you were on your own. You had to take your Bikurim, hold them on your own, and walk into the Beis HaMikdash, present yourself before God in an intensely private and personal moment of reflection and gratitude. There, as we all know, you would stand in the holiest place on earth, together with your first fruits, and you would recount the story of the Jewish people. The story we say over on Pesach, you would say it then, you would say it now, at this time of the year. Standing there before God saying, I know where I've been. I know how hard it's been. I know that I was nothing when I started. We went down to Egypt and we were oppressed. You took us out. You brought us here. You gave us this land. And look at us now. Here are my fruits. So I say to you, look at us now. Look at where we've been. Look at what we've become. Here together for the first time, a single institution with so much history, so much that binds us together. Here for the first time together. Look at us now. And yet, there's something striking about that private, personal moment when we recount our story and express our gratitude to God, because the Torah tells us right from the outset that you actually don't do it alone. I would have thought, this is my moment to talk to God. It should be me and my Maker and nobody else. Yet the Torah says, no, the Kohen has to be there with you. A Kohen who I don't necessarily know. Somebody I may have met for the first time right now. And yet I have to bring them into the room with me. They have to hold on to my basket with me. They wave it around. What is the role of the Kohen? As I go over and say to God, express my gratitude for bringing me to where I've become. And so our Mefarshim, most of them suggest the simplest answer, that after all, the Bikurim are meant for God. God doesn't really have much need for fruit. And so the Kohen is there as the emissary of God. You give it to him, he accepts it on behalf of God, that's his role. But I want to suggest something perhaps a little different. I want to suggest that perhaps sometimes, to truly understand and appreciate where you've come and how far you've come, you need somebody else in the room. You need another set of eyes, somebody else to hold up the mirror and look at you and say, hey kid, look at you. Look at what you've done. Because sometimes we don't necessarily see it ourselves. And so the Kohen stands there and makes sure you'll get your story straight. He listens to you and says, yes, look how far you've come. Look what you've achieved. Look what you've become. And if there is one theme that runs through the accomplishments of our school this year, I think it's precisely that. I think it's outsiders who have come in and held up that mirror and said, look at you. Look how far you've come. Those of you who were at our high school graduation last week heard already about how Regeneron, the country's top science competition, held up a mirror to one of our students and to our school and said, "Look at you! You've become one of the elite science institutions in the country." You heard how Yeshiva University held up a sign not just for us to see, but for the whole country to say. And it said that in our national Bikiyas program, a program that requires kids to learn a daf of Gemara on their own every week, that sign very clearly said that in their exams and their competition, first place in the boys' division went to a student from Kohelet Yeshiva. And first place in the girls' division went to a student from Kohelet Yeshiva. Look at you. Look at where you've come. What you didn't hear from us at graduation was the fact that once again, this graduating class was accepted into Yeshiva University's honors program, into Drexel's honors program, into Maryland's honors program, and into Princeton and Columbia, into Penn, into Brandeis, you name it, our kids are getting in. And not only that, but they're first going to places the likes of Yeshiva HaKotel and Gush Etzion and Nishmat and MMY and Shalvim for women. Every single institution holding up a sign and saying, "We want students from your school. Look at where you've come." And you certainly didn't hear that this graduating class earned an unprecedented $1.6 million in merit-based aid, or $79,000 per student. Oh, not bad. You also didn't hear about the fact that the Prizman National Jewish Day School Conference held up a sign for the entire country to see and said, "The religious guidance